All right, here we go. Multiplying, dividing radicals. In this case, when we go to do this, we're going to multiply the inside with the inside, outside with the outside, then simplify. When we were adding and subtracting, we simplified first. Multiplying and dividing, we're simplifying last. So let's do number one, outside with outside. 2 times 8 is 16. Then insides, 3 times 4, which is 12. And then we're going to simplify the 12. What is the largest perfect square root to go into 12? 4. 4 times what gives me 12? 3. So now we have 16 times, what's the square root of 4? 2. And then square root of 3. Multiply your outsides. 32 square root of 3. So once you get your answer, you're just simplifying like we've been doing for the last 2 days. So number 2, there's nothing on the outside, so we're just going to multiply the insides. So 8 times 3 is 24. W to the what? Remember, we add exponent. So W to the third times W gives you W to the fourth. Now let's simplify. Largest perfect square root that goes into 24. 4. 4 times what? 6. Now remember, when I simplify the letters, if it's square root, we're going to break them into groups of 2. Because the square root of W squared is just W. Circle your groups that you can take out. Now, what's the square root of 4? 2. Do you know the square root of 6? No, so it stays underneath. How many groups can I take out? 2. So that is your answer. And we have none underneath. Number 3, cube root, same thing. Outside with outside, inside with inside. There's nothing on the outside. So we're going to do the cube root of 2 times 4, which is 8. You can plug that into your calculator, or you can think, what is the cube root of 8? Is it a perfect cube? Yes. So what times itself 3 times? 2. Good. Now let's look at some a little bit harder ones. Number 4. We're going to, just like if we had up here 4 times x, we would do 4 times x and get 4x. 4 times 3 and get 12. Same thing here. Square root of 5 times 2. But be careful, because one's outside, one's inside. So you cannot necessarily multiply them. You're just going to write it out. 2 times the square root of 5. Now you're going to do square root of 5 times square root of 3. They're both inside, so multiply them. You get square root of 15. Now, can we simplify 5 or 15? No, so that's your answer. Let's look at number 5, double distributions. We're going to start with 3. 3 times 2, 6. Now take the 3 times the square root of 2. One's outside, one's inside. So do not make it 6. Now be careful, we have a negative square root of 5 times 2. So a negative 2 square root of 5. And then a negative square root of 5 times the square root of 2. They're both inside, so multiply it. Now remember yesterday, we can only add or subtract radicals that are the same. So can 2, 5, or 10 be simplified? No, and they're all different, so you cannot combine anything. That is your answer. Let's look at number 6. Same thing, double distribution. So we're going to do 4 times 4, and we're going to get 16. 4 times negative square root of 2. So negative 4 square root of 2, because one's outside, one's inside. Now start with the square root of 2. So it's a positive 4 square root of 2. And then you have inside and inside, so you can multiply them to get 4. Now, do we have like radicals? We do, right here. So we can combine them. What is negative 4 plus 4? Right, 0, so technically they're gone. because 0 times anything is 0. So now we're left with 16 minus the square root of 4. What is the square root of 4? 2, and then subtract it, and that is your answer. Let's go on to dividing. Dividing is the same way, except for now we're dividing. What you're going to divide, inside with inside, outside with outside, then simplify. So let's start with number 1. There's nothing on the outside, so we're going to divide the inside. 72 divided by 2 is 36. Now remember with exponents, what happens when you divide? You do what with the exponents? Right, subtract them. So you're doing 1 minus 3, which is -2. Now what do we do with that -2? That should be all one line. Right, we are going to make it a positive exponent. So we're going to leave 36, and we're going to flip that x, do the reciprocal, so we can make our exponent positive. Now with fractions, split them up. Square root of 36 over the square root of x squared. Same thing, we're just breaking it up. So now, what's the square root of 36? 6. What's the square root of x squared? It's one group, so it's just x. And that is your answer. Let's do number 2. Outsides first. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Insides, 10 divided by 30. Does not go in evenly. So we have 10 over 30. Reduce it to 1/3, and we're going to leave our answer as that now. We'll fix that fraction tomorrow when we do denominators. So let's look at number 3. You're going to multiply the first one with the bottom. What is 2 divided by 2? 1. What is 36 divided by 6? 6. Then you're going to divide the second one with the bottom. What is 4 divided by 2? 2. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Now what can we simplify? Right. The square root of 4. What's the square root of 4? 2. So now we have square root of 6 plus 4. Can we combine them? No, because they do not have like radicals. So that is our answer. So now I want you to try 3 problems. So pause the video, try them, turn back on the video to check your answers. Do not come in tomorrow with the wrong answers. Go ahead.